Jurors deliberated for more than 7 hours tonight before deciding to sentence him to death for killing Jennifer Daugherty 8 years ago.
Marinucci was the ringleader of the Six. That Marinucci wanted Daugherty dead because she thought Daugherty was trying to steal her boyfriend, Ricky Smyrnes.
I feel nothing for her. I'll be honest, I feel nothing for her. I believe she is remorseful. She should be. She should be remorseful.
Jennifer Daugherty's life took a dark and tragic turn in February 2010 when she fell victim to a shocking and gruesome crime. She became the victim of a chilling case known as the Greensburg Six. The monsters subjected her to unimaginable pain for several days, leading to her death. The case received significant media attention, and it raised awareness about the vulnerability of individuals with disabilities and the importance of protecting their rights and safety. But what led to this horrifying case? Who were the perpetrators? And what were their motives? How did the legal proceedings unfold, and what were the outcomes? Let's explore. Jennifer Daugherty was born on November 8, 1979, in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Later, her parents divorced and Jennifer moved to Pittsburgh with her mother and stepfather. Jennifer never received a proper mental diagnosis, but it was clear that she was born with a mental disability, which made her vulnerable to unkindness from others. As a child, she was consistently bullied and picked on by other kids in school due to her condition. You can say she had a rough childhood, and it's not her fault or her family's. It's just that people can be really mean to those who are considered disabled or incapable of defending themselves. It's fair to say Jennifer had been the subject of victimization since she was young, which is horrible. Despite being mistreated by many people, Jennifer still managed to maintain a sunny personality. Her family and friends described her as nothing less than a beautiful and kind human being. She loved dancing, singing, and babysitting her nieces and nephews. She would never purposefully hurt anyone, either physically or emotionally. Jennifer was just a nice person to be around. According to her mom, Jennifer had once told her that she wanted to be like the other kids. She wanted to be what people referred to as normal. The term normal here can be considered an ableist statement, meaning that there are certain people out there that think that being disabled or having a physical or mental disadvantage means that there's something wrong with you. Ableist views assume that there's one singular, normal standard for physical or mental abilities. They often disapprove of people with disabilities or differences, labeling them as abnormal or lesser based on their abilities or differences. This view can cause those who don't fit into their discriminating standard to feel excluded or condemned. Ableism can be portrayed through the use of degrading language, slurs, and stereotypes to describe people with disabilities. People who are victims of ableism are usually condemned for being themselves, even though they did nothing wrong. Think about it. If people keep telling someone that there's something wrong with them their entire life, they might or might not believe it, but they would feel very bad about themselves. Jennifer was a victim of ableism. She had to endure abuse and discrimination her entire life, yet she never complained or blamed anyone for the way they treated her. Jennifer's dream was extremely simple and mundane. She wanted to be independent. She wanted to be able to support herself, make a career out of something she liked, start a family, and maybe even have children of her own. To an average person with no mental or physical setbacks, these goals sound pretty simple and ordinary, but for Jennifer, it was a challenge. Not because there was something wrong with her, but because this world wasn't made for her. Jennifer could have achieved all of these goals. She just needed some time. Growing up, she kept helping her uncle fix cars and aspired to be a mechanic like him one day. In 2010, Jennifer wanted to begin her adventure in the outside world. She wanted to be independent and eventually move out of her mom's house. At this point, Jennifer was 30 years old, but she still had the mindset of a teenager. She thirsted for freedom and independence, but her family was worried. Her mom and sister were extremely protective of Jennifer due to her vulnerable and defenseless nature. They wanted to help her become independent, but at the same time, they were afraid. It makes sense because they'd been looking after her for 30 years. It had become their second nature to protect her. To ease her mom and sister's worries, and also help herself become adaptable to an independent lifestyle, Jennifer started taking living skills classes offered at a local community center called the West Place Clubhouse in Greensburg. The clubhouse is a facility created to help the members of the community who are mentally challenged, offering courses and classes that help them build skills for careers and employment. The center really helped Jennifer improve her life skills, and she enjoyed taking courses there. Jennifer was training to become a car mechanic. It was great that the clubhouse was so close to her community. Almost every day she would take the bus from Mount Pleasant to Greensburg to attend her classes. It was her first steps into adulthood. Eventually, Jennifer found herself engaging with her own group of friends at the center. Her family was thrilled to learn that she was thriving mentally and socially. It was her mother and sister's main concern that Jennifer would have a hard time being accepted due to her disorder. But thanks to her lovely and kind personality, Jennifer won the hearts of many. However, the news of Jennifer making new friends at the center might not be good news. You see, Jennifer's family worked their entire life to shield her from harm's way, especially because she was so innocent and trusting, qualities that made her extremely vulnerable. You could say she wasn't the type of person to be skeptical of anyone because she thought these people were her friends. Unfortunately, her new friends would later prove to be her worst nightmare. Jennifer's new friends consisted of Angela Marinucci, Amber Mettinger, Melvin Knight, Ricky Smyrnes, Robert Masters, and Peggy Miller. These individuals all share similarities with Jennifer as they all have some kind of mental challenges. The two people who played a significant role in this case were Amber Mettinger and Melvin Knight. The two met in a homeless shelter in 2010 and became romantically involved. They moved to Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and that's where they met Jennifer. There wasn't much information provided on Amber Mettinger or her mental challenges, other than the fact that she was born in 1992. Melvin Knight was born in 1989. He never knew his father because he was incarcerated and an addict. At the age of 5, Melvin somehow fell out of a moving vehicle and suffered a severe head injury. After the incident, he developed lifelong social and mental problems. It was reported that Melvin had a history with Ricky Smyrnes when they were both in prison for other crimes. Amber and Melvin happened to cross paths with Ricky in February 2010 when they moved to Greensburg, and Ricky even offered them a place to stay at his apartment. Something that's important to keep in mind is that Amber was reportedly pregnant at this time. Now, Ricky Smyrnes was born in 1986. His mother was a prostitute and his father was a gang member. Sadly, he was abandoned by both parents as a baby and was placed into foster care. Ricky started receiving treatment for mental health disorders when he was 4 years old and was using addictive substances and alcohol at the age of 6. Ricky had a terrible childhood as he was mistreated by his adoptive father and uncle. It wasn't until he was 10 years old that he was taken by the Smyrnes family and given a more stable life. Unfortunately, the damage was already done. Ricky was said to have been diagnosed with PTSD, multiple personality disorder, and many more psychiatric disorders. Ricky had a habit of offering people a place to stay at his apartment. So besides Amber and Melvin, there was another long-term guest staying with him, and her name is Angela Marinucci. Angela was born in 1992, and she was only 17 years old at the time of the crime. Reportedly, Angela was Ricky's girlfriend. She had some challenges of her own as well. According to her family, she was involved in a truck accident when she was 15 that left her with a permanent brain injury. However, it was later revealed that Angela had been suffering from depression prior to the accident and may have been substances. Two other people who were given a place to stay in Ricky's apartment were Robert Masters and Peggy Miller. This guy just had a habit of offering his home to anyone he found off the street. Out of everyone in the group, Angela was the first person to befriend Jennifer. The two of them had a good connection, maybe because they shared the same mindset. Keep in mind that even though Jennifer was 30, her maturity was equivalent to that of a teenager. The two got along very well in the beginning. I mean, Jennifer got along with everyone because she's a kind person and also because she finally found a friend group she could socialize with, which to her was the best thing in the world. Unfortunately, the happiness didn't last. As we've established, Angela and Jennifer could be considered best friends. However, something happened that caused their friendship to sour on Angela's side. You see, Angela started to notice that her boyfriend Ricky was becoming excessively affectionate towards Jennifer, and she wasn't happy about it. Angela reportedly even overheard Ricky saying, "I love you" to Jennifer over the phone. It was said that Ricky later confessed to having romantic feelings for Jennifer, and she reciprocated those feelings. Nevertheless, his flirtatious actions caused Angela to become extremely jealous of Jennifer. She suspected that her friend was trying to have an affair with her boyfriend. She was practically blaming Jennifer for her boyfriend's deeds. So she hatched a plan to invite Jennifer to her place for a friendly sleepover. Jennifer was thrilled when she got the invite. She went home and told her mom about the sleepover, but didn't disclose the 5 other people living in Ricky's apartment because her parents wouldn't have allowed her to go to a sleepover with 3 men. So Jennifer lied to her mom, saying it was a girls' party, and her mom was happy that her social life was improving. She allowed Jennifer to go to the sleepover. Before leaving home that day, Jennifer wrote a note to her mom that said, "Mom, I hope you have a good day at work, and I love you very much. Love, Jennifer." Her family didn't expect it would be the last time they'd see her. The 30-year-old was excited to go to her friend's place to hang out. However, when she arrived at the apartment, it was far from a happy or exciting atmosphere. Before we continue, guys, I have to give you a heads up that the upcoming content is pretty graphic and disturbing, so please proceed with caution. As soon as Jennifer entered the apartment, the group immediately pounced on her. They took her purse, stole her valuables, and poured water on her belongings. Jennifer was confused by their aggressive behavior and didn't know why her friends were taunting her. Angela and Amber were the first to start physically attacking her. Then the group decided to humiliate her by pouring random liquids and cleaning products on her and even making her consume them. They subjected her to various cruel and inhumane acts. It's unimaginable how these people who claimed to be her friends could do such awful things to her. Her suffering lasted for more than 36 hours before they ultimately decided to end her life. They even forced her to write a note, claiming she took her own life.
Pills don't take away evil. Jennifer died not knowing why she was dying. She had no clue to why her life was taken.
The group wrapped her body in a garbage bag and dumped it in a parking lot near Greensburg Salem Middle School. Yes, they discarded her like trash near a school. If there were a vote for America's most heartless monsters, these people would make the top 6. Eventually, a truck driver discovered Jennifer's remains and alerted the authorities. Law enforcement officers soon tracked down her attackers, arrested them, and charged all 6 of them accordingly. Of course, this case received a ton of media attention due to its sheer brutality and the drawn-out legal process. Long story short, the trial and legal proceedings stretched out for years before a final decision was reached. But rest assured, these individuals won't be roaming free anytime soon.
Jurors deliberated for more than 7 hours tonight before deciding to sentence him to death for killing Jennifer Daugherty 8 years ago.
In April 2012, Melvin Knight admitted to first and second-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit murder and kidnapping. By August 2012, a jury decided to sentence him to the ultimate sentence, as he was one of the people who delivered the fatal blow to the victim. Melvin tried to appeal his sentence 2 different times, but they were all rejected. On August 3, 2011, Angela Marinucci received a life sentence without parole after being found guilty of first-degree murder. She couldn't receive the ultimate sentence because she was a minor at the time. Her life sentence was later revoked, and she was sentenced to 60 years behind bars with a chance of parole. Amber Mettinger was sentenced to 40 to 80 years in prison on December 4th, 2013, after pleading guilty to third-degree murder, kidnapping, and conspiracy. In November 2019, she saw early release through the state's Board of Pardons. She had initially faced the ultimate sentence, but avoided it by agreeing to testify against the others. Ricky Smyrnes was given capital punishment on February 28th, 2013. He appealed his sentence, and in February 2017, a judge upheld the ultimate sentence. Peggy and Robert both received plea deals for lesser sentences. Peggy Miller was sentenced to 35 to 74 years. Robert Masters pleaded guilty to third-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and conspiracy to commit kidnapping on December 19th, 2013. Masters was sentenced to 30 to 70 years. At the end of the day, these people showed no remorse for what they did to Jennifer. As Jennifer's family stated, these monsters do not deserve any mercy, as they showed Jennifer none when they took her life. No matter what their punishment was, it cannot bring closure to the family.
I feel nothing for her. I'll be honest, I feel nothing for her. I believe she is remorseful. She should be. She should be remorseful.
Do you believe the sentencing of the Greensburg Six was justified? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications.